Oh my gosh, everybody, it's Hayden Crhistensen! This is a proper theater. Yeah. We have 2,600 plus, and there was standing room only just here for you and Ewan. Let's hear it for Hayden Crhistensen.
Thank you so much. Ewan and I were backstage earlier talking about just how nice this event has been and how much we've enjoyed getting to meet so many of you. So this has been really great. Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming out. We're so excited to have you. I want to say, just because you brought it up, maybe a sign, or maybe just something out of all your signings, a prop or a replica or an apparel.
Oh, I don't know. There's you know, we signed a lot of lightsabers and Darth Vader helmets, but I just like seeing the new artwork. You know, you see all these artists come and they do these amazing drawings, and so that's sort of what I get a kick out of.
There's a festival of arts going on right now at Epcot, you know, in either Hollywood or Orlando. Yeah, talk about your experience stepping into that for the first time.
Yeah, I've been a couple of times. I think it was the one in California though, at Disneyland.
Sure.
I don't know that I've been to the one here yet.
Similar, pretty much a replica, just different. Yeah.
I would imagine they're similar, but yeah, I did the Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
I think they do such a great job with it. I always thought it would be such a cool job to be a Disney Imagineer. You know, the people that design the parks and the rides. I think they do such amazing work.
Oh yeah, they're geniuses, and even the folks on that ride. Ahsoka. You were touring with us last year, and I knew you had to keep it so secret. You did such an amazing job. Now that it's out there and we know, now that it's out there and we know about it, what is it like getting that double reaction from fans? So this is another wave of fan reactions to your appearance in Ahsoka.
I can't tell you just how amazing the whole experience has been for me. You know, coming back on Obi-Wan was incredible. Getting to you know, swing a lightsaber with Ewan again was just a thrill. And then getting the phone call after we wrapped Obi-Wan, I wasn't aware of any other, you know, projects that I would be involved with. And after we wrapped, I got a phone call from Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. And I was just so excited again. You know, any chance I get to put on those Jedi robes, I'll take it.
Yeah, we had, obviously in Obi-Wan, we had the Jedi robes from the flashback. We had the suit of Darth with the battle. And then in Ahsoka, we get the battle outfit. You know, the Clone Wars.
I was just, I don't know, so excited to get to portray that version of the character.
Yeah.
You know, when I had that call with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they were sort of walking me through mostly what was going to be in episode 5, and you know, when he started talking about the world between worlds, and then we're going to go on this sort of journey through Ahsoka's memories, and then we're going to get to you know, revisit the Clone Wars. I just thought, you know, I was just so excited about the whole thing.
People have said that that episode 5, Shadow Warrior, is some of the best Star Wars they've ever seen. In terms of just the feeling of it, like you felt like you were in the world, and also was bringing everything together all at once. Talk about the reaction to that specific episode that you were in, you know, and just how it's really brought fans together from all the different series.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the episode is a really great one.
Yeah.
And what Dave Filoni accomplished is really remarkable. You know, sort of the context of it and the way it sort of informs Ahsoka's journey. It's really clever storytelling.
Sure.
But you know, the response has been really nice. I get people coming up to me on the streets just sort of saying like, Ahsoka episode 5. Like, I know, me too. But yeah, you know, all of the praise should be directed towards Dave Filoni.
Oh,
that's
the master. Specifically, the shot that I think gave everyone chills and was like, oh my, is the quick transition from Anakin's back to Vader. Did you talk about that scene, you know, shooting it and then kind of seeing it with post and after post?
Again, I take no credit because all I did is I showed up, I walked. That was all that was required from me. And the way that, you know, they shot that and they cut it together. I just thought that the whole episode came out, you know, better than I could have hoped.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of people also praised you for your integration of some of the mannerisms of Matt Lanter, you know, your voice actor. Yeah, give it up for Matt. Yeah. It felt like a seamless, again, a merging of two amazing performances, yours from the prequels and Matt's from the show. Did you listen to any of that? Did you study any of that, or did it sort of just come natural just as you were progressing?
I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Clone Wars, so I think there's some process of osmosis. It kind of made its way in. No, it's just it's a period in Anakin's life that I was aware of. I thought was very interesting, and obviously they explored it a lot in the Clone Wars, in the animated show that they did. But the opportunity to get to do that in live action was so compelling, and I wanted to bring it to life in the most sort of exciting way possible, and follow Dave's lead and just sort of, you know, bring to life what was on the page, because it was all there in the script.
You talked about, you shouted out Dave a bunch of times, rightfully so and respectfully so, and you said following his lead. How do you enjoy, or what do you enjoy most about working with brilliant directors like that? Like, how does your director-actor dynamic work for you? And specifically with Dave,
Yeah, working with Dave Filoni was one of the best experiences I've had as an actor in terms of that director-actor relationship.
Sure.
And you know, I think a part of me just really enjoys working with writer-directors, because there's a little bit more clarity there, and that, you know, you can kind of trust the script a little bit more. It's a more accurate roadmap. You know, when you have a director working off of someone else's material, there's interpretation, and you always have to sort of wonder if your interpretations are aligned. But you know, obviously Dave knows Star Wars so well, and he knows his character so well. You know, he probably spent more time than I did working on Anakin and developing Anakin with George Lucas, and so there was just you know, an immense amount of trust, and you know, I knew he had a really exciting vision for it, and just his way of being a leader on set. You know, he really inspires everyone around him. The way he speaks about Star Wars is so insightful. You know, I remember when I was getting ready to do Obi-Wan, I was sort of doing a deep dive on the internet, just kind of looking for all of the information I found interesting, and I came across this video of Dave talking about the sort of the meaning behind the Battle of the Fates, Duel of the Fates, sorry. And it was just so, you know, I'd never heard it sort of put that way before. And it was just, you know, so smart and insightful. And he just naturally is like that, you know. So it was a real joy to get to work with him and to see him, you know, sort of inspire everyone on set. It was great.
That's awesome. You mentioned doing some research. Joke to that, he was like, oh my gosh, I don't remember the planets, I need to remember the droid names. Were you nervous coming back to it that you'd like get on there and be like, whoa, I need a refresher here?
Yeah, you know, there's always a little bit of that, but I don't know. I spent so much time with this character that it came back pretty easy. I just wanted to sort of like learn about all of the new Star Wars that maybe I wasn't caught up with.
Sure.
And that was a really enjoyable process. You know?
That's awesome. Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader is arguably the most complex character in all of Star Wars, right? Do we agree? Yeah. You got to play him in his younger years, and then you got to come back as him as Vader in Obi-Wan, and then also back as the Clone Wars era Anakin. Did you find any challenges in portraying those sort of evolutions? You know, both all the way forward and then coming back. Was there anything you were trying to insert in his journey to make sure the audience really followed along?
You mean in terms of the work we did in the prequels, or coming back?
I guess coming back to it after the prequels, yeah, knowing that you were kind of bridging the gap timeline-wise.
You know, yeah, definitely. When we were doing Obi-Wan, we did the flashback sequence, and that was kind of like old hat. Like we'd done that before, and so that was just good fun. Going and doing the scene as Vader, that was new territory.
Right, exactly.
And then the same is true of Ahsoka. You know, playing the sort of wise mentor was a version we'd never sort of seen before.
Yeah.
And getting to do that, and then sort of, you know, try to bring to life the Clone Wars Anakin. It's a balancing act, you know. And so even though I know the character, we're still sort of taking him in new directions, and you just hope that it resonates in a way with you guys as it did with me when I read the script. And,
I think it resonated. Am I right, everybody? A lot of people talk about the scene. We talk about the quick transition from your back to Vader, but I think it was the glint in the eye when you turn from evil to dark side to light side. Yeah, right. Come on, man. That was fun.
Thanks, man. Yeah. I actually didn't, that was the one part that I wasn't really sure how we were going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, because it was scripted as, you know, he sort of transitions back, you know, to Anakin.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if it was going to be some special effect or what it was going to be. And so that was just sort of what came to us in the moment, and I really liked that bit too.
Oh, it's beautiful. It was a beautiful performance, so thank you for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of, coming up for
there's one that I quite like in the scene where you have Sidious and Mace Windu, and Anakin's there and he's having to choose, you know, and Palpatine is shooting Force lightning at Mace Windu, and Mace Windu is blocking it, deflecting it back, and Sidious is saying, "Help me," and Anakin says, "Just stop shooting Force lightning at." Blocking it back at you. Maybe there's some truth to that.
Good. Credit to whoever made that out there.
Padme and Naboo. There's a few.
Yes, that's the best one.
Yeah, and she says, you know, you're gonna change things for the better, right? Right?
Yeah.
I like that one.
When it came out, that one.
So I was dragging my feet for a while, kind of, you know, wanting to hold off. But now she's 9 years old, and I feel like she's at an appropriate age where I could share it with her. And there have been a few times where I've actually offered it up, and I've said, you know, sweetheart, would you like to, you know, watch Star Wars? And we're sitting down to watch something, and there's always something else that she's more interested in. So we're watching a lot of this show called Liv and Maddie right now. So Star Wars, like, let's watch Liv and Maddie, please.
There is a Young Jedi Adventures. That isn't maybe a bad entry point.
That would be a good one. I agree.
Yeah, but still just nothing, huh?
No, not yet. But I'm hoping soon. Yeah, but I'm waiting on her now.
I love it. All right, this process. Specifically, the question is: did you audition for any other roles besides Anakin, or was it just Anakin all the way?
No, but I wanted to.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, when I heard that they were auditioning for Anakin Skywalker, I thought that's really cool, but there's no way I'm ever gonna get that. And I asked my agent at the time, are there any other roles, smaller roles that they're casting right now that I could be in consideration for? And there was not. And so I threw my name in the hat for Anakin. And it was a very long auditioning process. It went on for a few months, and I don't know, all throughout that process, I never in a million years thought that I was going to get the role.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped me, because I was just able to enjoy it a little bit more, and you know, I remember going to meet George Lucas for the first time at the Skywalker Ranch, and I was just so excited to get to be there. You know, with no concept of you know, maybe getting this role, but just hopefully that I would get like a souvenir or like a free mug or something.
You grab something, put it in mug.
Yeah.
What was the, oh my God, not many people get to just step onto the Skywalker. What was the first thing that you saw, like Star Wars related, at that ranch that was like, oh my gosh?
There's a Yoda fountain.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember seeing that for the first time. I was like, ooh, this is where they do Star Wars. But yeah, it's you know, it's Star Wars everywhere. It's a pretty remarkable place.
It's funny that you say that you...
It was something that we knew was coming. We knew there was going to be this big showdown between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Sure.
And we wanted to make it as epic as possible. Yeah, and so we trained and we got the pacing up, you know, to a really nice place. And then when we got to set, we just, you know, we went from 10 to 11, and yeah, we were really cooking.
I love it. I love it. It perfectly segues into this final fan question from Kyle Wade, Fort Myers, Florida. You out there? Kyle Wade. Hello. If Obi-Wan didn't have the high ground, do you? Kyle, it's not me. If Obi-Wan didn't have the high ground, do you think he still would have beaten Anakin?
No, it was all about the high ground, obviously.
Correct answer.
That's the whole premise of that scene there, you know, and I always thought about it, you know, that like in episode 1 when Obi-Wan is fighting Maul. Maul has the high ground, and Ewan is down, and he does this amazing move, flips over him, you know, cuts him in half. And so I assumed that would have been something that was like, you know, folklore sort of level status, legend status, you know, at the Jedi Academy, everyone talked about it, obviously. So then when we got, you know, when I'm confronted with I have the high ground, I'm sure that Anakin was in the back of his head thinking, I'm going to show him. And it didn't work out.
Are you ready to play a fun little game to wrap things up?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.